Hello, we are the ASEAN members and we are here to discuss the trading bloc of ASEAN.
So this table is the ASEAN imports of goods by country. So these countries are composed of Brunei Darussalam, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, People, Democratic Republic, Malaysia, Myanmar, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam. All in all, for the year 2010, the total of imports was $9.5 million. In the year 2011, there was an increase and the total changed into 1.1 million US dollars. The number of imports from 2011 up to 2014 was stable enough with a consistent total of 1.2 million US dollars until the year 2015 and 2016 arrived, where there was a major drop in imports of goods with a total of only 1 million US dollars. They were able to recover in the year 2017 all through 2019 when imports of goods grew larger and gained a total of 1.3 million US dollars. With that being said, the year 2019 has the most total of imports of goods.
So the table shows the ASEAN exports of goods by countries, which consists of Brunei, Darussalam, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, PDR, Malaysia, Myanmar, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam for the year 2010 all the way to 2019. It was indicated in the table that for the year 2010, they have received a total of 1,049,000 in million US dollars for the exports of goods, with Singapore having the most exports of goods among all the countries mentioned in the table. The year 2011, ASEAN gained 1.2 million in US dollar, with Singapore still being the leading exporter. In 2012, the total was 1.2 in million US dollar. Singapore still leading up to 2019. In 2013, the total was 1.2 in million US dollar for 2014, the total was 1.2 in million US dollar. However, by the year of 2015, there was a major decrease and they received a total of only 1.7 million in US dollar, losing almost 100K in US dollar. And in 2016, the total was 1.1 million. And fortunately, in 27, they were able to get 1.3 in million US dollar. So next slide.
So as we can see, the ASEAN has imported a lot of products from other countries such as machinery, equipments, petroleum products, spare parts, electronics, parts of a car or a motorcycle. So the next is the trends. As we can see here at the chart is that the European, I mean the ASEAN has export food and drinks, chemicals, raw materials, machinery and vehicles, energy, other manufactured goods, and other goods. As we can see, from 2009, we have exported uh, foods, like a lot of foods. Then we also imported a lot of machineries and other manufactured goods. And as the year goes by, till 2019, we can see improvement of uh, each exported items from ASEAN.
So, is the ASEAN in trade surplus or deficit? From 2009 to 2019, the figure depicts the goods exchange balance, export minus imports in the ASEAN countries of Asia. A favorable trade balance indicates a surplus, while a negative trade balance indicates a shortfall. Brunei, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam make up the ASEAN. Brunei's goods exchange surplus in 2019 was estimated to be around 1.94 billion US dollars. Next.
So, the free exchange of goods has long been a primary aim of ASEAN economic integration. The ASEAN Free Trade Area, also known as AFTA, was founded in 1992. Well, before the ASC blueprint in 2015 was published in 2007, ASEAN and its member states have grown to be a big player in foreign trade. The region's merchandise exchange grew significantly from US $2 trillion in 2010 to US $2 trillion in 2018, accounting for 7.2% of global trade and rendering ASEAN the fourth largest trading economy in the world. Eight, with the exception of 2015 and 2016, goods exports increased steadily over this period, surpassing US dollar 1.4 trillion in 2018. Imports of commodities, on the other hand, followed a similar trend, exceeding US dollar 1.4 trillion in 2018. So overall, imports have generally been lower than exports, resulting in a good trade balance for ASEAN over the observed duration.
We are now passing to Gabby Sosa to report the following.
So this is the ASEAN share of exports from the year 2011 to 2019. Shown in the chart that China with 14.2% and United States with 12.9% have the highest percentage and play the most part in terms of ASEAN share of exports, followed by the European Union with 10.8%, alongside with Japan that has 7.7%, Hong Kong with 6.5%, South Korea with 4.2%, Australia with 2.5%, India with 3.4%, Taiwan with 2.8%, and the rest is consumed of 11.6% from the other countries. Then next is main exported products of ASEAN, which is mainly textile, petroleum products, chemicals, electronic equipments, um, semiconductor devices, gold, jewelry, electricity, clothing, and many more. So next will be reported by Karen Penagos and Laura Caro.
Hi, I'm Karen Penagos, and today I'm going to explain the training blog about Colombia, focus on the exports and the imports. Well, firstly, I'm going to explain the principal statistics of the value of the export of Colombia during 2020. For Colombia, the value of the exports as December 2020, according to the report by the Economic Studies Offices of the Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Tourism, the sales to outside to the country represent an increase of 0.0%. It's important to mention that these data are focused on the participation of the most active industries, such as the participation of the manufacturing industries, agriculture, food and beverage, and other sectors. Also, it's important to mention the export decrease at 9% compared with the same period of the 2019 in important products and trade classification sales. For example, the cardboard products that increased in 36.7%, and also material, chemical products, and furniture parts, plastic and in primary form, electrical machine, and also manufacturer sales. Well, for Colombia, it currently has 16 international trades that seeks to spread and facilitate the international trade to the agreements that Colombia handles. In regard to our important, those are European Union, the United States, Canada, the European Free Trade Association, South Korea, the Pacific Alliance, the Andean Community, Mercosur, Mexico, and others such as Chile, Venezuela, CARICOM, Cuba, Panama. But through this document and this presentation, we are focused on the Mercosur. And for that, it's important to mention that reports of the ministry, the Mercosur trade agreement has been in force since 2005 and increased and represented the total of 5% of the export by Colombia to the world, an increase progressive from previous year. Also, as you can see, the main products that Colombia export are relating and according to the same report with coal, cokes, building polymers, live chlorines, and social important industrial materials. Finally, during the main products that we're exporting according to the annual report, during the last 5 years of the export are increased about the 25% during the past years. And for the next years, the prediction rate is the balance is going to emphasize most to recover the levels of 2019. But more importantly, I will take you 5 years to return to the growth in the economic base. Now I'm going to explain for Colombia, the imports and the value. According to the report of the same Ministry of Colombia, the imports increased at 1.6% compared with the imports of the previous year in a large economy categories, which increased purchase of the transport equipment, consumer items, and other industrial supplies, imports, food, beverage, capital foods, and field important mention that Colombia imports increasing 1%. Okay, the data is related to important agreement, as we say before, for Mercosur, determined an increase of 25% compared with 2017, and very important total import by Colombia of the world in the principal products such as agricultural imports and industrial to develop the country. While the products such as more are important that cereals, operations, fabric articles of made textile fibers and chemical materials that increase in the level of the export of 2019 from 2020. And also it's important to mention how the trend during the past um, 5 years, the exports and the imports agreements is related to the total and increase in important data, the values. Also, for the next year, it's important to mention the protection and the imports and the export taking into account the current situation to the COVID-19 pandemic that imposed different regulation for the commerce industry worldwide and Colombia. Finally, I'm going to explain a little of the balance of trade within the trades of balance of Colombia in 2020, according to the annual report of the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Tourism. There was a great trade deficit in Colombia, which was registered with China, followed by Mexico and the United States and other countries such as Germany, Brazil, and Vietnam. Therefore, we conclude that the deficits increase in countries such as Mexico and us. Currently in Colombia, we have different practices. We carried e-commerce that allow the commerce process in Colombia to maintain regulations. So through this stemming of industries, agriculture, employment, the current account increase external debt, and therefore alternatives to promote trade union sets means to support blocks of the integration in industries, fundamental industries policy to be oriented by technological investments and innovation. Thanks.
Okay, guys, good morning. I'm going to explain what can be learned from Colombia's trade practice with trading bloc. As mentioned above, different trade practices are carried out in Colombia that help the country's well-beginning in economic, political, and commercial aspects. For example, Mercosur helps to enhance the modernization of trade regimes in the member countries and make sport more attractive, helps to the base, establish the framework of the bidirectional area of free trade with European Union. In fact, these measures have achieved that commercial exchange of the countries of the globe with the outside have increased significantly, and finally, as a bloc, it represents a very interesting objective since in it encompasses very different market segments, which translates into business opportunity for the sports, also economy complementation agreement. Number 59 has been opportunity to open international markets and position itself in the region by acting as a showcase that allows the country to show itself on the international scenes, strengthening the possibilities to negotiate in the multilateral framework. Next, please. Okay. According to analysis of the benefits that Colombia has obtained from trade relations with Mercosur Science Economy Complementation Agreement number 59, this agreement has allowed Colombia to export important sectors of the economy such as manufacturing and service, but also important capital goods and raw materials and inputs at lower cost, thus helping to promote competitiveness in national production, also building through agreements such as ACE number 59 is of great convincing for Colombia because it allows it to be in the same condition as other countries that are competitive to the position that are sports. Okay, in conclusion, it's necessary to follow a strategy of skinning, but better market opportunities for your productions in all negotiation in which you are involved. The requires dedication, a significant amount of resources, capacity, and negotiating experience to all fronts. The priorities for successful integration policy in regional and global markets are identified through the following objectives: the consolidated trending in of institutions with activities oriented towards the creation of trade-related capacities, define policies to improve competitiveness and add value to exportable production, coherently articulate with an intervention strategy in a regional and global markets, define productive chains with the neighborhood countries that facilitate the growth of the most competitive sectors. It's important for Colombia to strengthen its ties with the Mercosur countries, Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay, and Uruguay. Their economies are attractive for the incursion of Colombia products. For this reason, the Economic Complementation Agreement number 59 seeks to be due to be able to strengthen the commercial competitiveness that Colombia has developed in recent years. Ideally, countries should import goods which the product factor in our country is scarce and export products in which there have a product factor in abundance. The most widely export products are oil and its derivatives, coffee, coal, and in general, the agricultural and livestock sector, as well as the export of food products at beverages and manufacture of basic multi-metallurgical products. And that's it. Thank you, guys.